Hello everyone, Melissa here. Welcome to your Melissa Moments. Okay guys, I'm gonna get comfy because it's story time with Melissa. Let's talk bariatric surgery. Here's a little update for you. Currently, I am 7 weeks post-op. I'm doing okay. I'm feeling okay. My weight has gone down. So from my weight, just to kind of recap, before I started the 2-week liquid diet pre-surgery, my weight was 260 pounds, okay? Today, my weight is 225.8 pounds, okay? So I'm down about 35 pounds since I started my pre-liquid diet. So that's good. That's great. I did have my follow-up appointments in Regina, my 6-week follow-up appointments. I'm pretty sure I already talked about that. But basically, everything is going good. They gave me the okay to start exercising because exercise is a big part of this. So decisions had to be made on exercise. Now, I kind of researched a lot of things. I've looked at a lot of things. We have a very small home. So even though I do have exercise equipment that I could use here at home, a couple things, I'm not usually motivated to exercise at home. So I don't want to set myself up for failure. So even though I have some things here, I could use things here. If I'm being honest with myself, I probably won't. I looked into getting like an elliptical and things like that, but I have nowhere for it to go. There's really no room. The only place it could go is in our basement, but our basement does not have a full ceiling, so you would hit your head. Like there's literally this much clearance from my head when I'm down there. And as you know, if you've ever used an elliptical, you go up, right? It's like, yeah. So I'm like, no, that's not going to work. So not going to work. Then I'm like, okay, maybe I should get a gym membership. Well, those aren't cheap. And again, am I going to push myself enough if it's just me, right? I know for me, the best way to work out is one-on-one with a personal trainer. That's the best way for me to work out. Again, problem, very expensive, like ridiculously expensive, way out of my budgets. So that's not going to work. Then I'm like, well, if I join a gym, a lot of them have free classes and things. That could work, but I'm not sure. I looked into kickboxing and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should do kickboxing. I like kickboxing. There's group classes, still not cheap. It's about $160 a month for kickboxing. And that's what I was going to do. I was going to do it. But I have a nutritionist that I just started working with. I had an appointment with her last week. And she is also a fitness trainer and bodybuilder. And she works out of my physiotherapist's office. She actually works for my physiotherapist. And I trust my physiotherapist. I have been seeing him for over 25 years. And I trust him. He's great. I know he wouldn't hire someone who's not good at their job. So I really trust her. And I talked to her. Well, I wouldn't say she specializes, but she's very familiar with people who have had bariatric surgery. She's also familiar with people who are vegetarian or vegan, which again, me, hi. So that was important to me that someone understands those things because that's me, right? And she also does fitness stuff. And with that said, they have a summer program that they are starting on July 5th. And it's strength training. Now, I talked to her very candidly about, I have the clear to do exercise now. I'm leaning toward kickboxing. What is your thoughts on kickboxing? And she was very honest, and she said, you know what? I think kickboxing is great. It's great cardio. A couple things. She said, number one, there's no resistance to kickboxing, right? Like you can't up the weight. You can't, you know, make it harder. It's just basically how hard you hit something or you kick something. It's all on you. Whereas with strength training and weightlifting, you can increase the weight, you can increase the reps, you know, you can make it more difficult, you can challenge your body, which is a great point. She also said, because I haven't been exercising, you know, for a couple months, that my strength has diminished, which is very true. I have no strength. Like I'm starting at zero, nothing. And she said, I would be cautious with kickboxing because if you're not going to build up your strength first, you could result in more injuries, which again makes sense. So she recommended doing strength training first to get my strength up before I do kickboxing. And I think that's a good plan. It makes sense to me. So I decided, you know what, we'll put the kickboxing on hold until maybe like, you know, January, somewhere in there. And we will do strength training. So she has a program that's starting July 5th. It's for 2 months, all of July, all of August, and it's 3 times a week. You go and you basically just do strength training. So you're lifting weights, you're doing, you know, deadlifts and I don't know what they're all called, you know, lifting weights basically. And she's there, she leads the class. She makes sure that your form is good, that you're not doing a motion or something that could potentially injure your body. I like that she, you know, this is what she does. This is what she knows. And for me, I haven't lifted weights in a long time. So to have her there to make sure I'm doing it right, I'm not going to injure myself. And if I do injure myself, it's right at the physiotherapy clinic. So she can run and grab my physiotherapist and say, look, Melissa just hurt herself. I need you to come and assess her and whatever. He'll come immediately, you know, he'll assess whatever it is and he will give me exercise and how to fix it and how to make things better, which also makes me feel good. Because I'll be honest with you guys, I am nervous about exercising. I'm nervous because it seems like every time I start a new exercise program, I injure myself. I have a very weak back. I have very weak ankles. My balance is really bad. I have a lot of things going against me. And I tend to push myself pretty hard when I work out. And I tend to injure myself very easily. So I'm nervous about that. I'm also nervous because I'm trying to maximize weight loss. And I know exercise is important. And I know exercise can help with weight loss, but I'm also worried that my body, because my body is different than most people's bodies. My body does not react the way science says it should, right? So I'm worried if I start exercising that my body is going to be like, whoa, we need to hold on to everything. And I'm worried that the weight is not going to come off, that I'm either going to plateau or I'm going to start gaining, and that scares me. So I do have some fears going into it, but realistically, I know it's the next step. I know it's the right thing to do. I know overall my body needs it and it's important. So that's the plan. So, you know, I'm going to do the class. Now, that's for 2 months. The cost of this for 2 months is $360, I think, for 2 months. So, you know, that's what? $165 a month, which is similar to what the kickboxing would be. That would be $160 a month, so it's very similar. The fact that it has a trainer there with you the whole time and that it's a strength training program and I'm already working with her as a nutritionist and she already knows what my goals are, and she's working closely with me and all that kind of stuff. I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully this will help. So it's only for 2 months. Now, they do also offer in the fall, they do another strength training kind of boot camp thing. And I think that's for 3 months. So the summer program is July, August. The fall program is September, October, November. So chances are I'm going to continue into the fall program. So I'll be doing at least 5 months of strength training to get my strength up. And then, like I said, I can look into kickboxing, you know, in the new year. Or I might just keep going with the strength training programs. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I haven't decided. That's still far away. I need to see how my body reacts to this. I need to see, you know, where we're going. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. Now, because of that, obviously, there's a few things I needed to invest in on top of it. I needed to find a sports bra to wear because, as I've stated before in some of my other videos, all my bras are too big. So I need a sports bra. I also need some indoor gym shoes because my old indoor gym shoes I ended up wearing outside because I needed new running shoes, and I was just using those because I wasn't going to the gym anymore. So I did buy some indoor gym shoes. And then I think that's pretty much all I need. So wish me luck on that. As far as how I'm feeling and stuff, I'm feeling okay. You know, it's kind of one day at a time, learning what foods I should eat and how it makes me feel. I have run into a situation where occasionally if I have chocolates, I get a headache almost instantly. And this happened even before the surgery. It was, you know, before I noticed that. So I'm starting to wonder if I have a sensitivity to chocolates. So that sucks. I mean, not that I eat a lot of chocolate, but occasionally I do. Or some of my protein bars have like a chocolate component to them, and I've noticed I start getting a headache. Or I went out today for lunch, and I bought myself just an individual, or sorry, I didn't buy, my husband bought me an individual Saskatoon berry chocolate. It's dark chocolate on the outside, and within 5 minutes of eating it, headache and like my neck seized up. It's still, like, that was over an hour ago, and my neck is still sore and tight. So chocolate is affecting me in a negative way. I'm trying to figure out, is it chocolate? Is it one type of chocolate over another? Is it the caffeine component of chocolate? I'm trying to determine what it is that's making me feel like this. Is it the sugar component? I don't know, you guys. I don't know, but I'm on a mission to try to figure that out. So I've started a chart, different types of chocolate I eat, how it affects me, how long it takes to affect me. You know, I'm trying to get a chart to try to determine what the cause is. So I don't know. Other than that, there has been what we call non-scale victories. So obviously a scale victory is when you step on the scale and your weight goes down. Yay! You know, you have your goals like, oh, I was 260. Now my next goal is 250. Oh, I hit it. Okay, my next goal is 240, 230, right? Those are your goals. Non-scale victories is when you notice things that don't necessarily have to do with the scale. So for example, I've noticed a couple non-scale victories. Number one, I'm sitting up taller. I sit taller. Before, I'd be more like hunched over like this, like constantly my back would be like, there'd be like a hump there. Like even in the car, I notice it's like I actually sit up more, right? Because I have lost about 35 pounds. So that's a lot of pressure off your joints and your body overall. And don't forget, I've lost some of the boob, right? So it's not so heavy here anymore. So instead of being hunched over, I'm kind of sitting up a little taller. So I've noticed that. The little thigh gap, you know, a lot of girls have thigh gap, and mine, like, here's my legs, right? Pushed tightly together. I don't have a complete thigh gap now, but I do have a little bit. So instead of being like this, like I was before, now I'm kind of like this. So there's definitely a bit more of a thigh gap there, which is nice. I've noticed that. So that's good. My Fitbit, I've noticed my resting heart rate has gone down. My resting heart rate used to be 61 beats per minute. That was my resting heart rate. Now, let me just double check. Now my resting heart rate is 56 beats per minute. So you guys, that's an improvement. That's great. So that's another non-scale victory I've noticed. My resting heart rate's gone down. Another non-scale victory I've noticed is I can walk further without things starting to hurt or without getting out of breath really quickly and really easily. I've also noticed that I enjoy walking more. When I park in a parking lot or something, it used to be I'd park as close to the door as possible, right? Now I've noticed I park as far away from the door as possible. And, you know, I walk. It's just like, oh, well, if I park in the far corner, that's more steps that I can get in, more walking. And I actually enjoy it more. So that's another non-scale victory I've noticed. So I'm excited about that. So there has been some non-scale victories, which is great. What else can I tell you about it? I mean, things are going good. I'm taking it one day at a time. Things are going good. I've been focused on making sure I get enough sleep. I just started, and this doesn't really necessarily have to do with weight loss. It kind of does. Sleep is very important. And they say you should get 8 hours of sleep a night. Well, between 7 and 9 is kind of what they say. I'm doing my best to get at least 8. Now, it used to be I would go upstairs and I'd be on my phone watching my TikToks or, you know, scrolling through social medias. And before you know it, it's like 1 in the morning. So the last couple nights, I'm like, nope, no scrolling on my phone. So the last couple nights, I've gone to bed and I've just set my alarm and I put my phone down and I don't look at it. And instead, I've started reading, which, again, really enjoy. I used to read all the time and I haven't in years. So I've started reading again. Another great thing about that is it makes me fall asleep. So that's really good. So, you know, I'm just changing little habits here and there. And overall, it's all going to help me. It's all going to make things better. So I'm really happy about that. Yeah, things are going good, you know, just eating smaller portions. And I'm still not eating, like people say, well, what are you eating? What aren't you eating? I mean, you can, honestly, you can pretty much eat anything you ate before. You can. You could eat anything. The only thing you can't have anymore is carbonated drinks. But you can pretty much have anything you want. I have rules for myself. Some of my rules are I don't eat fast food. Now, with that said, there are some exceptions. Let me clarify. I don't eat deep fried food. I won't eat deep fried food. I try to stay away from junk food. If I do eat junk food, it either has to be really high in protein or it's just a little bit here and there. Like I had a chocolate today, right? But I'm doing my best to stay away from sweets. I haven't had any cake, cupcakes, pie. Like I haven't had any kind of really big desserts since my surgery. Again, I'm trying to make healthier choices. I'm not saying that I never will. I'm just saying sparingly, and you know, I'm trying to make good choices. I'm trying to maximize my weight loss because don't forget, the first year after bariatric surgery is kind of the year you can lose the most weight, right? You want to maximize that year. Also for me, I'm kind of behind the ball because I was told, whether this is accurate or not, I don't know, but because this is a revision surgery. Now what that means is back in 2010, I had a vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which means they took out 80% of my stomach. That was a bariatric surgery. I just had a gastric bypass, which is a revision from the vertical sleeve to the bypass. Now, the surgeon had told me with revision surgeries like mine, you don't lose as much weight as if it was your first time surgery. Now, that's what they said. Do they know that as a fact? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think there's enough people who have had revision surgeries that they've actually done a study on this to come up with any concrete evidence. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say that's true. Then that means I have to work even harder to hit all my goals. So I want to maximize this first year. I'm doing my best to do that. You know, honestly, I haven't had a lot of cravings like for junk food or anything, to be honest with you. So I'm doing my best. Like I said, one day at a time, one meal at a time, listening to my body, trying to eat healthier, you know, trying to limit my carbs. Carbs have always been my downfall. I love carbs. Love them. So trying to limit it, you know, like I'll have like one bread product a day, right? It's like, oh, I had a sandwich for lunch. I better not have a bun with my burger for supper. You know, I'm trying to limit my carbs. I fill out my Fitness Pal. That's what I use for my food tracking. I do it every day. It helps me keep track of everything. My calories, my carbs, my fats, my proteins, my fiber, my sugar, my sodium. Like it tracks everything for me. So I'm doing my best to make sure I kind of stay within the guidelines that I've given myself. And so far I'm doing a pretty good job. I have hit a few plateaus. I've hit 2 plateaus already. Guys, I'm only 7 weeks out of surgery and I've already hit 2 plateaus. I was the same weight for about a week. That was frustrating because I'm like, oh no, tell me it isn't stopped. Like, tell me I'm going to lose more than 30 pounds because it was frustrating. But then eventually it did start going down again. The last 2 days, I was the same weight both days. And I was like, oh no, not another plateau. So, but today I went down from yesterday. So I'm like, okay, we're still on the way. We're still going. Now the surgeons did tell me that the weight loss will slow down. It'll still continue to lose weight, but it's going to slow down is what they said. So I've been losing about 5 pounds a week up until this point is kind of my average of what I've been losing. They said be prepared to go from losing that to losing about half a pound a week is what they said. I don't think that's accurate again. I mean, I definitely don't think I'm going to lose 5 pounds a week going forward, but only half a pound a week? That seems wrong because even people who haven't had bariatric surgery and are following an exercise nutrition program generally can lose up to 2 pounds a week. So half a pound a week seems wrong to me. I would think I would go from losing 5 pounds a week down to 2, maybe 3 pounds a week. That's what I'm thinking. Again, I don't think anyone really knows. It really comes down to what I put in my body and how much exercise I do, is kind of the equation that's going to give me results. So we have a plan. We're going to execute the plan and we're going to hope for the best. And I mean, whatever happens, happens. As long as I am focused on my plan and I do the things that I know will get me to the goals I want to get to, and I work as hard as I can, and I'm consistent, the results will come. I don't know how long it will take for those results, but I know eventually they will show up. So I'm kind of hoping on that. I'm kind of, here we go. So that's kind of where I'm at with my weight loss journey so far. I don't think there's really anything else to tell you guys. Yeah, I don't think so. So I just wanted to kind of give you an update of where I'm at. Like I said, my strength training program starts on January 5th. So I did not do measurements before surgery, I only did my weight, and my bariatric team, they did not take any measurements either. They only did weight. So I think what I'm going to do is before I start the strength training, I am going to take measurements of my body. I'm going to take a lot of measurements, everything from like my neck, my wrist, you know, my upper chest, the boobs, the under boobs, the waist, the hips, the thigh, the calf. I'm going to do a lot of measurements because I really want to see what happens. My theory, based on past experience, I'm not going to lose any weight. I might lose some inches. That's my theory. So I want to make sure that I have my measurements before I start the program, and then I'll probably do measurements halfway through the program, and then I'll do measurements at the end of the 2 months, and we'll compare all of those. But I'm really not expecting the weight to change much from the exercise. I know that sounds wrong, but just based on my body and past experiences, that's what happens to me when I exercise. Even my trainer is like, oh, you'll lose weight. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. Like, I'm trying to be open-minded, but I just know me. I just know me, and I know past experiences, and that was not the case. So I don't think it's going to change this time around, but we'll see. I mean, I'm trying to be open-minded. I'm trying to, you know, be positive and take things as they come. So you guys will come along on that journey with me. Again, I really appreciate you guys watching these videos and supporting me. And please, any questions, comments, please just write them below. I will answer you. I will, you know, I like to talk to you guys. So let me know if you have any questions or any comments or anything like that. I really appreciate you. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet and you are interested in either bariatric surgery or strength training, exercise, anything in that kind of realm, make sure you've subscribed so you don't miss any upcoming videos. I will be doing a lot more videos coming up. I will start to talk a little bit more about the nutrition side of things as well. And also in tricking your brain, because your brain is what you need to trick. Your brain tries to trick you in a lot of things. So we're going to turn the tables on our brain, and we're going to start tricking our brain into thinking differently. And for a lot of people, sometimes that makes all the difference. So there'll be a lot more videos coming up, and I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.